Hello, hi Hope Hub, hi. I hope you guys are having a terrific Friday. TGIF. I'm here again, Sundowner edition or fall down edition. Fall down. What did we call it yesterday? Fall, rise and shine. Fall and darken edition. Okay, that's not what we're doing today. Anyway, if I'm looking down, it's because I'm cooking. I'm cutting up some onions and making some dinner. Today we are making pilau, and unfortunately I don't have a camera to where I can share with you guys exactly what I'm cooking or the recipe, but also Hope Hub is not about that, so I don't have to share that, right? So anyway, Friday, I did not come here to offer a lifeline this morning. I just want to say, first of all, most importantly, thank you so much for those of you who reached out to me and said, hey, how you doing? Are you feeling better? I hope you're feeling better physically. I hope you're feeling better mentally. And I am just fine. I am absolutely phenomenal. You know why? One of the things that I do to get my spirits up is I look for people who encourage me and people who inspire me and motivate me and people who make me laugh. So I don't know if you guys do that, but one of the things that I had done in the last couple of days, not yesterday, but I thought I should share this with you, is someone, as part of Hope Hub, shared with me that Rowan Atkinson had passed away. Rowan Atkinson. So I don't know if you guys know that person, but that's Mr. Bean. If you guys grew up in Kenya, I guess even here in the United States, Mr. Bean was a very popular British series. And the main character, Bean, who is Rowan Atkinson, he would make you laugh so hard. And so, you know, when I'm feeling down, and I highly recommend you guys in terms of comedy, maybe for you it's something else, something back home or something from your own experience that makes you laugh. But let me tell you, by the way, he hasn't passed. This lady who shared with me that he's passed, apparently that was a fake story. So I almost went on the Hope Hub and was like, rest in peace, Mr. Bean. He hasn't passed away. Apparently it's a fraud. You know how they have sometimes those fraudulent my onions. Those fraudulent posts about someone dying. Hi, Purity. Mr. Bean is not dead. But so Mr. Bean, if you guys don't know him, Google him, Purity Namjua. And he is basically, his character is supposed to be, I never understood like why he behaved the way he did. He wasn't really talking. He would do the craziest thing that did not seem normal for an adult. But basically the premise of Mr. Bean is a child in an adult body. A child in an adult body. So the episode that I watched that made me laugh so hard, I watched a couple of episodes, was the one where he goes to a swimming pool. And I'm not a lefty. Kwa nini umesema I'm a lefty? Okay, this is my right hand. Maybe it's the camera. In the right hand side. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to show you guys. This is my t-shirt. This is from the Warrior Nation. And it says, Empire, building my empire. Proverbs 31:18. And because I had looked up the scripture, Proverbs 31:18 says, She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. Don't you love that scripture? She perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamp does not go at night. That's a Proverbs 31:18 woman. And that's who I intend to be. Building my empire by night, by day. It doesn't matter on the Hope Hub kama ni asubuhi ama ni jioni, niko hapa because I'm building my empire, and I know that what I have to offer here is profitable. My merchandise is enough, more than enough, has value, and is speaking to someone. Okay, let's continue. I'm not a lefty. Ninakatakata garlic hapa. So anyway, vile nilikuwa nasema ni ati Mr. Bean, what the episode that I watched recently is the one where he goes to a pool and could swim. and then he's like walking around like it's his first time swimming. Alafu he sees people sliding into the water, like to slide to a toy where you climb up a little bit of stairs and then you slide down. And then he first tries that little slide that slides down into the pool, and then he's like, he gets on and he can't even slide down the freaking little slide, like this much of a slide, and anza could climb back up. Then he's like, okay, this is too, this is not for me. Then he looks up and then he sees one of those diving boards that's like you have to climb up 2 stories to the top. And then he's like, I'm gonna jump up from there. And so unamwona, he goes up 1 flight of stairs, and then he looks at the kids who are going to jump, and he's like, oh yeah, you guys think that's high? I'm going up all the way to the top. Then when he gets to the top, and then he's like inching his way, and then he looks down to the pool, his legs go weak. Ushakuwa in a building, like a tall building or somewhere where you're like looking down and you're like, oh my god, like miguu zako nika zina lose power kabisa, like you have to completely sit down. That's what happens to Mr. Bean. Akiwacha nikacheka. You guys, Mr. Bean will have you cracking up. His legs completely lose power. He sits down and then he even lays down on the ground. Alafu he's he's like he can't climb. And then he finally starts to go backwards now, to jump backwards. And then I think when he inches, he's now hanging, and then the pool is down there. He's looking down. He's like, oh my god, I can't let go. Then one of the kids wanakuja wanamkick, and then he goes down into the pool. Then get this. Once he falls off the pool side, he ends up suruali yake inatoka, his boxer shorts, and then now he's in the pool naked, and all these women are coming into the pool. But anyway, the moral of the story is, why I bring up that story of Mr. Bean is like, there are some times when you feel down and hopeless and discouraged with life, and you're wondering what you have a tendency to focus on the negativity and the bad things that are happening in your life, right? That happens to the best of us. But one of the, find ways that, lift up your spirit. Vitu ambazo, like when you do, they just get your spirits up. And one of those things is comedy. Mr. Bean will have you laughing and laughing. The other person, like this morning, that I listened to was Les Brown. Les Brown is just, yeah, by the way, ile kipindi tulikuwa tunawatch home ya kina Torongongo na nani. What was that? Vitimbi. Vitimbi is another good one. I don't know if you can find them on YouTube though, but excuse me for a second. Tunapika pilau. Adwagai turaruga pilau. Nemogoka, kujeni mkule. Come and eat some food, some good food. The invitation is for those people who are out of state. But who are out of state, you're more than welcome. So anyway, yeah, so another thing that I do to get my hopes up is people like Les Brown. Les Brown, especially lately, because lately he's kind of emerged. I didn't know that he was very sick. He was, you guys know Les Brown. He's a motivational speaker for many, many years. He's one of the giants. I don't know, held awards with Toastmasters for many, many years. Just a speaker. I don't know how else to put it. Spoke in the Georgia Dome spoke to 80,000 people at the Georgia Dome. He says that whenever he speaks. So let me just make him feel good in case one day he's watching the Hope Hub. But yeah, so he has struggled with cancer for the last 25 years. He's a survivor of cancer, but then the cancer reemerged, and now the cancer came back stronger and in his spine. And you would think that this particular reemergence of that cancer, after it had been pretty much in remission, he had felt like he had survived it. He was talking about how he's a survivor, and then all of a sudden it reemerges. You think like, okay, now he's totally gonna give up. He was like, no, like if anything, he's gonna make sure that his legacy continues to live on, and he believes that he can have another chapter of his life here. Pole. So today, let me just give you some of the Les Brownisms that I get from him, or I got from him this morning, that were really game changing, and they helped me lighten my mood. So number one is that he says, have a mindset that you can achieve what you want to do, being positive that you can accomplish those things in spite of not having resources, money, down on your luck, going through any illness. Stand against those things and do not allow those things to rob you of any of the things that you deserve in life. One of the things that he said in that regard, especially with his diagnosis, he said, do not let anyone that's wearing a white coat and has a stethoscope be the person who determines your future and how you're going to continue to live on a day-to-day basis. He's like, just because it's a doctor or a doctor's report, that is not the final word. He's saying doctors are the ones who make diagnoses, but God is the one who determines the prognosis. So that's a Les Brownism that I want to leave any one of you who is struggling with your health, that doctor's report does not have to be the final report on your life, that God is the one who determines the day that you will leave this earth, okay? And then the other thing he says is be aware of the contracts, the invisible contracts that you make with people. Invisible contracts means you look around at your environment and look at your friends, the people you associate with, the people you have in your surrounding, right? And then he says, make sure that the people you're surrounding yourselves are iron, that they're sharpening you. They're not people who are taking the best out of you. They're not people who you are dying together, but instead they're people that you are living together, and someone who does not compromise who you are or compromise your mindset. Another thing he said is, remember, trouble does not last always. Trouble don't last always. Change will come. Keep the faith. You have the ability to shake things up and change your trajectory. You have the power to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. So I love Les Brown. If you can find other motivational people that really speak to you and share them with me, I would so appreciate it. Right now, what he's saying he's working on specifically, hey, food zangu zitachomeka. This is goat meat that's going into the pilau. So wacha hizi zivaive before sana niweke mchele. So hi Samantha, how are you? I know you're late, girl. I'm cooking pilau. Purity na Samantha. Well, let me show you one thing. Yeah. This is a watermelon. I cut it. I thought it was gonna be red and it was orange, yellow. Is this normal? Okay, I'm gonna wait a few minutes. A regular, it was one of those little small watermelons. I got it from the store, farmer's market. Nimekuja nikaikata, and this is what it looked like. Is this normal? So, have you guys ever eaten this? Did you get sick? Did you get smarter? Tell me. Is it an antioxidant? Does it cure cancer, heart disease, stroke, meningitis? What does it do? Yeah. That being said, Les Brown, what I love about his next chapter of his life is he's saying, nope, that's not normal. You've never seen it before, or is it not good? What does nope mean? Okay, so one of the things he's saying that he's working on in the next chapter of his life is he's working with juveniles. He's working with young men who've been incarcerated and gotten out of prison. He's working with that particular demographic, and he's saying he's working to cure HIV, which he calls hood infection. Hi, who knows what HIV stands for in Les Brown's mind? I think it's hood infection or vision or something like that. It has I don't know, the I is something about those people who have a hood mentality. So their minds have been infected, or their vision have been infected with the hood. So anyway, that's what he's working out on life. So let me go on with some of the things he says that I got today. Hi, Wangari Munyoki Nzengu. Hi, Naya. Naya, you're back to paparazzi. If you guys are interested in the jewelry that I wear, not the one that I showed was broke yesterday, but some of the jewelry that I wear, Naya sells paparazzi jewelry. If anyone is interested in a master of ceremony, Purity Ateku is a master of ceremony. She's a Steve Harvey she's a female Steve Harvey. Okay, Wangari, if you have something you want to tell us that you do, Samantha, please advertise here. I don't mind. So another thing I was talking about some people that inspire me, and when I'm going through hard times, I look up their videos and I watch them and I try to jot down some of the things that they said so I can keep them in mind, and so I can feel motivated, inspired to do better, or just they lift up my spirit. So I already spoke about Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. He's a comedian, he's hilarious. And now speaking about Les Brown, who is also a comedic genius, even though he's more known to be a speaker. Like right now at 76 years old, he's talking about how when he goes into a restaurant or a space, he used to be, he would come in and he would start looking for the women, like almost immediately. He would be like, where are the good looking women? Now he's like, now at 75, all I look for are the exits and the bathrooms. So anyway, he will have you laughing every step of the way as he's giving you really great nuggets in terms of life. And being that he's 75 or 76, he always says, I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two, right? So okay, one thing that let me just say something else that he said. He said that he had a conversation with Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett taught him the most important investment is yourself. You are your most treasured asset. Develop your mind. You develop your mind first, your mindset and your skill set, but also do not forget relationship capital. Then he also says that if you can make a man feel inferior, if you can make a man feel he is inferior, you have to compel him to seek an inferior state. You never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it out for himself. That is powerful, right? If you can make a man feel he is inferior, think about the slave trade in this country for so many years, right? Men were made to feel less than, that they were not even half a man, right? And so just by making those men feel inferior, you no longer had to control them, because they already did things that validated that inferiority in terms of how they were behaving. So if you can make a man feel he's inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it for himself. That's mental conditioning. And so that's why it's important for you to learn who you are, to grow yourself personally, and to invest in yourself. Now that's one other thing that he says. And I'm going to be out of your hair because I have to cook. Let me see if there was anything else that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, he does say that everything matters. Whatever you are, everything you have gone through has prepared you for now. You have a power, you are special, you have greatness in you. You have a choice today. If you are on the brink, standing on the cliff, worried about tomorrow, think about the fact that if you face the giant in front of you, you could become a solution to that problem. You could become a solutionary. And so that's why he says hood-infected vision is what he's working on. Hood-infected vision in our population, in people who have addictions, people who are in prison. He's training leaders to use their voice and influence people. And he says as long as he has a voice, because right now he is sick, he's been sickly, but he's saying as long as he has a voice, he's going to speak, he's going to inspire, and he's going to give hope. So he'll let people know that they have a purpose irrespective of what's going on in their life. So anyway, that was my message for you guys on this Friday. I tried to stay consistent and obedient to the call, and obedient to showing up here on a daily basis. And sometimes I have nothing to say, like sincerely. Like today, all I'm doing is cooking. I'm cooking rice, pilau. I'm cooking chapo. I've made fruit salad. I have some guests, an uncle who's coming to visit me, so I'm getting ready for dinner. But I was like, I made a commitment to come here Monday through Friday on the Hope Hub, because you never know what someone is going through, y'all. Think about all the people in your circle and in your extended circle. In the last 4 days, let me say, in the last 4 or so days, I have come across people who are in my family, people who are friends, and they've told me things that are shocking in terms of what they've been going through in the last 6 months to a year. And I had no idea, absolutely no idea, because people have a tendency to wear a smile. Or if they're not wearing a smile, they just act angry and moody and bitter, where it's like, don't come for me, because if you, what is the word that people say? Don't come for me if I didn't send for you. You know, so they have this whole attitude and this facade of strength, or, you know, or sometimes it's just a facade of like, hi, how are you? Yes, I'm fine, whatever. And at the same time, they're going through a ton of really, you know, adverse situations, like things that you would never know that they're going through. And so for that reason, that's why I continue to show up here. Because when I spoke to these people and they were telling me what had happened, and either they're still going through it or they're working to get over it, I was like, how come you never told anybody? How come you never reached out for help? You know, how did you make it through? And so I never want to take it for granted that there's not anyone that's sitting somewhere crying or having a hard day, and they're scrolling through people's timelines and on the news feed, and all they're seeing is people at the beach, people having fun, people eating pilau and saying, wait, I wish I knew someone who could invite me for dinner. I wish I knew someone I could call and talk to. Let me tell y'all, if you ever have an inkling to talk to someone, and I know I'm going on tangents, I remember a friend of mine that I had a dream about, that she was going through something, and I neglected to call her. And you know, months later when I spoke to her, she told me she was deathly ill during that time. And then the message that I told her, because I was telling her in the dream, we were sitting around and I was drawing a circle, and in the circle I was showing her in the middle, this is God, and on the sides, this is joy, and I was writing all these things around the circle. And then she was like, Faith, I wish you had called me during that time, because at that time I did not remember that I have God to lean on. So if you ever have an inkling or an instinct to call someone and check in on someone, do it. Just do it. Just be obedient to that instinct. Don't think about what they will think, or maybe you had an issue, you fought, you whatever it was, it doesn't matter. Just call them and just say, hey, I was just checking in on you. It's nothing. I just wanted to see how you are doing, because you never know how that will impact you. So for those of you who are new, in the last there was a time I posted that I was at 2,999, who's counting, on the Hope Hub page. And for 2 days, I stagnated at that number. And I had already started celebrating 3,000. And then I think God was like, oh, you think you're funny? You think you're smart? You think you better wait on me before I get that 3,000th person? And I remember saying, who's going to be number 3,000? Anyway, within the last 3 days, I've had like 30 people that just joined this space. And it may not seem like much, but let me tell you, in a year, it's been like paint drying. You know, like how you like drip, 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 2 people, 1 person. It's just been like that. Then all of a sudden I got an influx of people, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But let me tell you, I just want to say thank you to those of you who share this space. As much as I don't wear a title, evangelist, pastor, whatever. I don't have no title. I'm just Faith on the Hope Hub. I truly, truly appreciate that you guys share this space. And I'll do my best to show up and post hopeful content, because you never know who needs to hear a word of hope. And my goal with the Hope Hub is just to ensure that people know that hopelessness can be an option. Hopelessness can be an option. Hopelessness does not have to be your reality. That basically you don't have to think daily, on a daily basis, the inevitable is that I'm going to be hopeless. It's for you to decide today that you can create a life that is hopeful. Hope is not goal setting. Hope is not positive psychology. That hope is just you looking every day, having an expectation, a Godfidence confidence that your life will be better, that you have something to look forward to, a future expectation. That's all it is, a positive future expectation. If you feel that there's nothing for you to look forward to, or you have nothing to be grateful for, I encourage you, are those my guests? Shoot, 1 second. I encourage you to just thank God for the breath in your body, that today you have breath in your body. That's one thing to be grateful for. You always have something to be grateful for. All right. So anyway, that's it. God bless you all, and I will see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.